Okay, yeah, seems everyone is fine with it. Yeah, good. So in today's class, we are going to start Docker Compose. So like, which is going to be one of the most important topic, and like in real time, entire work what we have done till now, you are going to write on the Docker Compose only. So please make heading as Docker Compose. Docker Compose. I'll explain like what is the meaning of compose. For example, let's consider an application like Paytm. In Paytm, how many services we have, sir? Lot of services, correct or not? So in today's class, first of all, like I'm gonna show you how to deploy basic application. From that, we can create the Docker Compose file. Okay. So let me write a Docker file for it first of all. So by the way, how's your weekend? Boring, eh? Why boring? Class ledana. Good, good. నేను క్లాస్ ఉంటే బోరింగ్ ఉంటుంది కదా బేసికల్లీ క్లాస్ లేకపోతే బోర్ కొడుతుంది పని చేయండి అయితే సండే వచ్చేసేయండి నేను కూడా త్వరగా సండే క్లాస్ తీసుకొని సిలబస్ అలా లేపేద్దాం నాకు రెస్ట్ అవసరం ఐ కెన్ మేనేజ్ Docker. Okay, if in case like I conduct the class on Sundays, how many are going to come? Next Sunday plan చేద్దాం గట్టిగా. How many of like you are going to come? None of you, huh? Fine. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, huh? Then what about you? You don't come, huh? What you are going to do then? See like how active our boys are. Always active, right? Mobile stuff. So like here in today's class, first of all, I'm going to deploy the basic application. Like we know Paytm, right? In Paytm, how many services we have? Multiple services. I'm going to deploy 4 live services and I'm going to make you access. Okay. So, but before that, you need to understand Docker file. Tell me a few lines about Docker file. What is the meaning of Docker file and why we need to use it? My first question. Huh? 2. Extract the images, sir. No. Docker file main purpose. Docker file is to make the image creation automation, correct or not? First of all, open the Docker file once. See the Docker file. I think you have the notes, right? Now just see what is the meaning of Docker file and why we are going to use it. Why? Because in today's class, our entire work is going to be on Docker file only. If you know the Docker file, today's class is going to be easy. Sudo yum update -y. Create containers, no Kiran. Basically Docker file we used to create images, not containers. We will never create containers from the Docker file, even in real time also. The main theme is to create the images that on automation way. Which way? Automation way. Sudo -i. So let me install Docker first of all. Tell me the command to install Docker. I'm install Docker -y. So in Docker, how many major components we have? 3. What are those? Client, daemon, registry. What is the meaning of Docker client? Docker client. To interact with the Docker. So if I give the image, like if I give the command, it is going to execute the command. It is going to give me the output. Next, Docker daemon means manages the Docker components like images, volume, everything is going to manage by the Docker daemon. Third one, Docker registry. Registry means manage all the Docker images. Whatever images we have, we are going to put it on the Docker hub. Okay, fine. Then here, what exactly I'm going to tell is, first of all, I'll write one Docker file, vim docker file. I'll ask some questions, try to give me the answer. First of all, I want to build a Docker image with Ubuntu. So which component I want to use? From Ubuntu. Like here I need to use small. Next, I want to install some packages. Whenever you want to install some package on Ubuntu, first of all, what you are going to do? Update. Update means like what I need to write here. Run apt. And you can use apt get as well. apt or apt get, both are fine. Next, sir, I want to deploy the front-end application. Front-end application means what I want. Correct. What it is? Apache server. Which server? Tell me the command to install Apache. Run apt install Apache 2 hyphen. Sir, next I want to copy the code from my local to container. Which one I want to use now? Copy. So I'm copying index.html to where www. Clear now? So first 4 points are very, very clear, all of you. Now the last point is going to be a bit tricky. Okay. So try to use this one. I'm going to tell you about CMD. What I'm going to tell you about? Sir, if I want to control my Apache server, I need to use the command line tool called Apache CTL. Basically, to control the service, we use systemctl generally. But Apache is going to have one command line tool called Apache CTL. Which one? But that Apache CTL is on user sbin Apache CTL. Comma. From this Apache CTL, I'm going to control my Apache service. What I'm going to control? And this Apache CTL is inside sbin folder. That sbin folder is inside. Directly if I give Apache CTL, it is not going to work. Why? Because Apache CTL is inside sbin. Sbin is inside user. Clear now? Next, I'm gonna run my service on detach mode. Which mode? Detach mode means you won't go inside container, but still application is going to run. -D stand for detach mode. Sir, I want my service to run on foreground. I want my service to run on foreground. That's it. It is a Docker file for basic deployment. Okay. First command from Ubuntu. I am taking which image now? Why to take Ubuntu image? First of all, because without OS we cannot install any packages. Without package we cannot create an application. So I take the Ubuntu image. Next I give run update. Next I install Apache 2. Why I install Apache 2, sir? Because if I want to show some application, I need to have some front end. Front end means web server. What is our web server? Apache. Next I'm copying my index.html to var www. That is the path basically. Next, from the CMD, I'm using Apache CTL to control my Apache server. -D means detach mode. -IT means interact mode. D means, and I want my service to be running on foreground. Now see this one. Now I want to create my index.html for Paytm application. Basically, we don't index.html. You don't know HTML, CSS and all, right? In that case, what we can use W3 skills is there. Type W3 skills login page. Here you are going to get number of examples for the login page. We don't write the code. Automatically code here we can get, sir. If you go here, social login form, or you can see forms with icon, like it is the best one actually. So you click on try it yourself. So this link I'm gonna give it on your notes. Okay. Now here, sir, I want my first service is Paytm movie service. Which service? Let me draw the architecture first. Paint here. If I go and see now, for example, it is going to be my application. In my application, I want to launch few services. Okay. So service number 1 is called as Paytm Movies. Which service? Service number 2 is going to be train service. Which one? Train service. Service number 3. DTH. What is service number 3? This is not working fine. And service number 4 is recharge. Okay, forgot about like it's not working fine. So service number 1 is movies, service number 2 is train, third one and final one is recharge. So now what exactly is going to happen? Whenever I want to launch these services, first of all, it is microservice pattern. Microservice pattern means each service I want to design inside the container, as we discussed. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the index.html. What I'm going to create? What is my service number 1? So now what I'm going to do is I don't know how to write the source code. For that purpose, I'm taking reference. Here I am putting like this. So here I am going to give Paytm movies. Click on run. So here if you go and check now, are you getting Paytm movies then? For example, it is the login page for my Paytm movies in Paytm application. What I'm going to do, copy the code from here. And I'm going to paste it on the. So now create the Docker file. Is done and you have index.html. Can we create an image from it? Tell me the process of creating the image. Docker build -t Paytm movies, or like simply just to give movies also fine. Movies version v1 dot. Now inside this image called movies, I am copying the code. What I am copying? I have already code in my local index.html. I'm copying the code to container. Okay. So now what exactly I'm going to do is, now I'm going to get a image. I'm going to get inside that image, which code I have now? Paytm code you have, correct or not, sir? From that image, I have the code. That code I'm going to use for my container. See. So now just to give Docker images. Okay. It's not moving. Just to give Docker. Do you have movies image now? Inside the movies image, what I have now? Movies code. Docker run -it. IT means you will go inside the container. Just to give D. D means detach mode. Which mode? That means container is going to run, but you are come out of the container by default. -name. Container name is. And what is the image name? Movies v1. Sir, if you want to access the container, we need to give the port number, sir. So just to put -p. First one is the container port number. 81 is what? 80 is the image port number. We cannot change the image port number. Why? Because what is the port number of HTTPD Apache? 80, correct or not? So inside the image called movies, my Apache server is running. What is the port number for Apache? It is the default. We cannot change. But container port number we can change, sir. If I hit enter, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to access the application of Paytm movies. If you want me to show, then see. Just put here. And what is the port number of container, sir? Are you seeing my application here? Now open your mobiles, all of you, and try to use the same IP address. Even you are also going to get the same application, sir. This is live. I am showing like how the real time is going to work. But in the middle, like let me give the IP address. Copy the IP address. I mean, HTTP is not required. Please don't copy HTTP:// just give 3.7.248.36:81. Online, you too try to access the URL what I have given for you. All of you are getting the application? How I have deployed the application? I take some source code, I write the Docker file, and I deployed the application. Now, all of you are able to access the application or not, sir? Service number 1 is done. Service number 1 is done. So I am giving the services here. First of all, I am giving the Docker file. Docker file. Inside Docker file, which content we wrote? We write some Docker file. All of you are knowing about this Docker file, right? This you have done. And after that, here create index.html. You know where to get the index.html. I already gave the link. Next, you need to build the image. What you need to build? So it is the command to build the image. After once you build the image, what you are going to do? Run the clear or not, sir? Like that. So in this way, we are going to access the service number 1. So now give public IP and give port number. Here note point I am putting. We can't change port 80. Why? Because it's default Apache port. Clear now? Now what I'm gonna do, my first service is accessible for all of you. I want to create my service number 2. What is my service number 2? So now how I'm gonna do, I'm not going to change anything here. Same Docker file I will use. I'm going to change only the code, sir. If you go to index.html, in index.html, are you seeing here Paytm movies? Replace movies with train now. What I'm replacing movies with? Guys, here we are using some basic code, but in real time, developers are going to give very big code. But here we are using just the basic application code. Now your source code is changed. Developer gave you the new source code. He asked you to build a train service. You already have Docker file or not, sir? Nothing you are going to do. Build the image. Tell me the command. Docker build -t. Now train v1 dot. Is your Docker build your image now? Docker file. Can we check it? Are you seeing train? Now inside train image, which code you have? Train code or Paytm movies code? Train code. Now inside the train image, you have the train code. From the train image, can we build the train container? Can you tell me the process? Please go ahead. Docker run itd. It means interactive mode, D means detached mode. Next, -- name. Train is the container. And what is the image name? Train v1. But sir, if you want to access the container, we need to give port or not, sir? Port forwarding. 81 is already given for movies. Now I am giving the port number 82. And what is the image port number? Image port number will not be changed. Now open the same mobile and give the 82. Instead of 81, just put here 82. Sir, for 81, what you are getting Paytm? But if I give 82 now, which application is coming now? You also check from your end. Online, you to check from your end. Is it correctly getting or not? Getting it or not? So now we have done with 2 services. Service number 1 is train service. Service number 2 is, service number 1 is movies. Service number 2 is the process clear till now? Everyone? A bit loudly, man. That's it. Online, what about you? Is the process clear for all of you till now? Sir, for first time and second time, I say to the process. Now third and fourth services, you are going to tell me the process. I will tell nothing. You are going to tell me. I want to build the DTH container. Like, first of all, I want to make the DTH service up and running. For that purpose, first of all, I need to change the code. So what I need to do now? VIM, go to in index.html, you want to replace train with DTH. Now source code is changed. When the code is changed, what you are going to do? Build the Docker file. If you build a Docker file, what you will get? Image. From the image, what we are going to create? From the container, we are going to access the. This is the process. Process clear? Now here this process I'll write one time for you. See, process I'm gonna write you. First of all, we need to change the code. From the code, you are going to build Docker file. If you build the Docker file, what you are going to get? In the image, you have the application. From the application, what you are going to, from the image you are going to create. From the container, we are going to get the same process for all the services. Now step number 1 is done. I change the code. What is step number 2? Tell me the command to build the Docker image. Docker build, all of you build -t DTH v1, and finally now your image got built, sir. Your image got. Can we check our image is there or not? Docker. Are we having DTH or not, sir? Inside DTH image, what you have now? DTH application code. From the image, what we are going to create now? Tell me the process then. Docker run -itd hyphen name. DTH is the container name. What is the image? DTH colon. Guys, container names, image names is up to your choice. Completely your choice, okay? And if I want to access the application, I need to give the port numbers. -p 83 colon 80, yeah? Sure. Can I change 80 to 81? Why we can't? It's default for what? Apache. That clarity you need to maintain. Hit enter. Now in 83, have the DTH service running. Can we check it? Open your mobiles and check then. Instead of 82, I'm going to give here 83. Paytm DTH I got. Check all of you have got the same thing or not, sir? Got it, huh? Is it replicating or not? This is how the process need to be go. Tell me one thing. Whatever I am telling here, are you getting the practical knowledge? Why? Because there is some live proof. It is how the application is going to work. Can we kill the last service? All of you. Who is going to tell now? All of you is right. Then raise your hand. Who is going to tell now? Like this. What about you, people? That last boy. You're not going to tell her? I'm talking about you. Is the process clear for you? Somewhat. One more time. Okay, then come here. You are going to do it. I'll guide you. Come. So now, like, what's your name? Huh? Asan. So Asan is going to do the process. So Asan, like, see the process one time. First of all, what you are going to change? Code. What is the code means here? Index.html. Open index.html. VIM. Space I tab. No, you tab. Automatically it will come. Tab. Enter. So DTH you are going to replace with recharge now. Replace it. Just to give I insert. You need to press I. Then replace recharge. So save it. Escape. Shift colon WQ. Now here in process, step number 1 is clear. What is step number 1 here? Step number 2, what you are going to do? If I build what I'll get, sir? Now build the Docker file. Give the command docker build. Do it. Docker space build, space -t. What is the name of the image? Recharge. Give recharge colon v1 space dot means your current file. Hit enter now. Now your image got builded. Give the command docker images to verify. I got the image now, recent image. Recharge. So now again go back to the process. You change the code, you make the build, you get the image. From the image, what you are going to get now? Write the command to create a container. So all of you guys, you are going to tell the command. Tell command to us. Docker itd space double hyphen name space -p '84 port number colon 80. What is the image name you give? Give that same image name. Recharge colon, hit enter now. No, v1 after v1. So you up arrow once, v1. So now go to the browser. Mozilla, open Mozilla. So you are seeing 83 port number, right? So replace 83 with 84. All of you, check on your local. Paytm DTH become now Paytm. Is your front-end login page opening now? Are we able to get all the applications or not, sir? This is how we are going to design the application. Clear now? I think, is it clear for you, right? Good. So this is the way how we are building the Docker images. First of all, change the code. From the changing the code, you are going to do build. After build, image. From the image. So if we go and see for each and every service, we create one container. First of all, in 84, port number 84, what is running? Recharge. In port number 83, DTH. In port number 82, train. Are you seeing it or not, sir? Again in port number 81, seeing all of them or not? You are accessing the lively. Correct or not, sir? Is the process clear? So this is the way how we are not going to create the applications. Emotional damage. Guys, listen. I'll ask you a basic question. Here, how I am creating the applications? One by one. Correct or not? But tell me, whenever you open the application of Paytm, are you going to get the service number 1, 2, 3? Are you going to get one by one or all at a time? But here, how we are creating? That means the real way? No, we need to launch multiple containers at the same time. Why? Because we need to launch all the services at a time. If I launch this method, it is going to be not the perfect way. And everything is on manual method. Which method? To automate the process, now we are going to use the concept called Docker Compose. What we are going to use now? Docker Compose is a kind of tool which is going to launch multiple containers together. Here we launch containers one by one or not, sir? But the Docker Compose is going to launch all the services together. Is the definition clear for you? First of all, I have shown you one manual work. You know what is the limitation of manual work? What is the limitation here? If I launch one by one container, it is not going to be good way. Why? Because tell me one thing, if you open the Paytm application, you want to book the train services, you need to go to some other place. But when you open the application, first of all, you are getting movies. After later 1 hour, you are getting train. Later 1 hour, you are getting DTH. Is going to the good way, sir? We need to launch all of them at a single time or not. For that purpose, we are using the Docker Compose. What we are going to use? So make the heading as Docker Compose. It's the topic of today. And like here, I'm gonna give this one second. So whenever you do it, right? Again, for service number 2, change index.html. So what you need to replace train with? DTH. I'm gonna give the step-by-step process for you. No need to confuse. So you are going to give like this. Service number 2. Service number 2 is train. Here also I need to give port number 80 to train. Here also train. For service number 2. Again for service number 3. Same thing. Like I'm gonna write the each one by one step for you. Service number 3, change index.html. From train you are going to change to, oh, 1 second. First of all, from movies to train, right? I need to tell here, movies to train. Second one, train to DTH. Train to DTH. So here I need to replace train with DTH. DTH, port number 83 here also. Again, so here port number 83. What is your service number 4? You need to replace DTH with recharge. So again, so here recharge, here also recharge, port number 80, here also recharge. Is it clear for all of you how we have done the manual work? Now I am going to do it an automation way by the help of Docker Compose. What is the name of the tool? Docker Compose. It's a tool. Don't write the notes. It's a tool. Use it to launch multiple containers. Okay. We can create multiple containers on single host. How many hosts? All of the services information we are going to write on file. All of the services information we are going to write on a, what is the name of the file? You know, here we use Docker Compose file. Here we use Docker Compose file. It will be on YAML format. Which format? And we use key value pair. Key value pair is also called as dictionary. And extension, you can use .yml, or you can use .yaml. Already we seen on Ansible, na? Same concept. First of all, what is Docker Compose? Is it to launch multiple containers? We can create multiple containers on how many hosts? All of the container information we are going to write on a, what is the name of the file? Docker Compose file. Basically extension is .yml or YML. Or even though you can call it as compose file as well. Okay. Docker Compose, or you can write compose.yml. So it will be on YAML format. Basically we use key value pair. It is called as dictionary. Extension is .yml, or even it can be .yaml. Sir, can you repeat how to get the index.html code? What if we give 2 times different port numbers for same process? It is not going to accept, Priyanka. And if you want to get the index.html code, already I read the notes here. Might be you missed it at the starting of session. From this link, you can get the index.html code, Priyanka. Hope it is clear for you. Fine. Now, like how to write the Docker Compose file means it is very easy. But before writing the Docker Compose file, first of all, you need to install. Why? Because it is not the default tool. If you install Docker, Docker Compose will not come. If you want me to show Docker hyphen compose. You getting anything? Why? Because command. Why? Because Docker will not defaultly give it. We need to get the extension. Already I have the script to get the Docker compose file. I'll give the same script for you. Where we are going to get all script from? From the GitHub. So there you are going to get scripts for every setup. So go to here GitHub, Raham Sheikh, all setups. Here you can see Docker compose.sh, right? Copy this one and run it on the. Here I am going to write setup. You can run by using file, or you can run this command directly as well. If you want to run this command directly, that's it over. Basically, generally we used to run on the script, but this commands directly I ran. So clear now? I have the Docker compose. Previously, Docker compose is not showing, but here are you seeing Docker compose commands or not, sir? Able to see or not? That's it. I'll explain the process of installation. Why? Because you need to have the clarity. If I give the script, if I directly run, there is no use for you. You don't know the process, right? Then what is the purpose of running the script? Listen. From the first command, I'm going to get the link of Docker compose. Basically, Docker compose is open source. We are going to get the Docker compose link from the GitHub. Are you seeing this one? From this link, we are going to get the Docker compose file, sir. Okay. And command you are going to put on user local bin Docker compose. Command you are going to send to user local bin. So now in your user local bin, you are having the command. I am going to create a short link. Short link means this command basically on user local bin, right? I am moving this command to user bin. Next, sir, whenever you download any external package, it will be on file format. Which format? File want to run the command means it need to have executable permission. Which permission? chmod plus x means I am giving my executable permission to user local bin Docker compose. Finally, you are going to get the Docker compose version. Write a note point, all of you. This note point you are going to use all the times from now. Till now you haven't used this one, but now you are going to use. Whenever we download a package on file format, whenever we download a package on file format, we need to move that file to bin folder. We need to move that file to bin folder. Tell me what I said. Whenever we download a package from internet, we need to move to bin folder. Why? Because all the user executed files will be on bin folder. Whatever commands we are executing, right? Each and every command must be on bin folder. If the command is on bin folder only, then only it will work. Otherwise, it won't work. Second point is we need to give executable permission for that file to work as a command. We need to give executable permission for that file. We need to give executable permission for that file to work as a command. Akanksha, line number 3, I'm going to create a link, Akanksha. ln-s means short link you are going to create. So these are the Linux comments. And how many of you are attending to the Linux classes here? Linux. What happened to other people? Why are you not attending? Okay, you're waiting for next batch, huh? Sure. Okay, I'll ask the admin like when the next batch is going to start. Fine. So now I install the Docker compose. Sir, whenever Priyanka, like, is your doubt clear? Or still you are having any doubt? Okay. So now here I'm going to write the Docker compose file. How many services we have? We want to launch all of the service together or not, sir? So I am going to write the Docker compose file for one service. Remaining 3 services are going to tell by you. Are you going to tell or not? Sure. The spirit. VIM. Name of the file is Docker hyphen compose dot YML. Fine. First of all, here I am writing version. Version 3.8 is the latest version. What is the meaning of version? Means Docker Compose need to support the Docker Engine version. Currently, our Docker Compose version is supporting to 3.8 for Docker Engine. Our Docker Engine is 20. For Docker Engine 20, the Docker Compose is supporting 3.8 version. Here I am writing services. What is your first service? I won't tell anything. I'll just give the statement. You are going to tell me the answer. What is the name of the service here? For movies, what is the image, sir? Image. What is the name of the image? Movies. Correct or not, sir? Next, we need to give here ports. What we need to give? What is the port we are accessing for the movies? 81 colon. Clear now? That's it. If you want to write any volume, you can also write volume, but I'm not writing the volume. Leave it now. What is your service number 2? Train. What is the image? Train. Next, which port you want to give? Port number 83, 82. Sure? Port only. $82. And give. Now remaining 2 services you are going to tell me. Tell me service number 3. DTH, then. No. Image, DTH, V1. Next. Port, 83, then give 80. Finally, recharge, then then 80. Tell me one thing. Is writing Docker Compose file easy or difficult, sir? Easy, right? I said about only one example, but remaining 3 you said to me or not? Clear for everyone? Now, the moment if I execute the Docker Compose file, I am going to get few errors. You are going to troubleshoot the error, not me. Okay, I'll not tell anything. I know errors are going to come, but that errors you need to resolve yourself. To troubleshoot the errors, what you need to have? Reading English. All of you know, right? And you can troubleshoot. The command is Docker Compose up -d. The meaning of Docker Compose up means whatever you write inside the compose file, you are going to run that services. Up means run the services. -d means detached mode. What you are going to get there? Read it, read very clearly. Unsupported config operation for service DTH port. Did you mean? Now what I need to do here? I need to replace port with ports. How can we do it? Set command. Inside of the file or outside of the file? 1 minute. Tell me the command to replace. Set -i port ports G. What is the name of the file? Check it now. It replaced or not, sir? Port with ports. Troubleshooting number 1 is clear. You are going to get one more issue now. Let's check. Again, are you going to troubleshoot or not, sir? Yes or not? What is the issue? Read the error very clearly. Read the error. Because, sir, already we created some services manually. We create the same port numbers. Then how it is going to work, sir? No, right? So in that case, can we remove the manually created containers? How to remove all the manually created containers at single time? Tell me the command. Docker kill dollar docker ps -a. Already we seen this command or not, sir? Then I'm gonna give rm. What I'm gonna give? Done now. I removed every container. Now if you go and see docker ps-a, do you have any container? Is plain now. What I'm gonna do is now docker compose up -d. Docker compose up means you are going to run all the services inside docker file. -d means detached mode. Is it done, sir? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to access the same applications. If you go and see, I'm going to remove everything here. Freshly, I'm going to access the applications. In 81, what service you are seeing, sir? Correct or not? 82, what you are going to see? Train. 83, what you are going to see? Again 84, what you are going to see, sir? Now all of the services I am able to launch on single time or not? By using which concept? Compose concept. Is that definition and practical both are matching or not, sir? What I said about Docker Compose, read it here. I said like this, it is tool used to launch multiple. We can create all the containers on. Currently we create containers on single server or not, sir? Single host. Third one, all of the service information we are going to write on which file? Docker Compose file. What is the extension here? YML. So we use key value format or not, sir? See how it is going to work. Whatever I said theoretical, practical you see the same thing. Correct or not? So now I am writing the compose file here. vm docker hyphen compose.yml. So now what you are going to do? Copy the content of file from there to here. After you write the file, first of all, what you are going to do? First of all, you need to remove each and every container. Remove the containers. Okay, I am writing here as note point. Note, remove all the containers. So now here I'm going to write the commands of Docker Compose. What is your command number 1? Docker Compose. What is the meaning of this? To run all services. Sir, for example, what is the command we can give is docker ps-a. Are you going to get all the services? Now here, I want to delete all of these services. What is the alternate for up? Docker compose down. It is going to delete all the containers. First of all, it is going to stop with the containers. Then it is going to remove the containers. If you go and check now, docker ps-a, are you seeing any container here? Why? Because I use the docker compose down. Docker compose down means it is going to delete all the. Again, if I want to create up -d, d stand for done or not, sir? That's it. It is a command number 2. Docker compose down. To stop and remove. Of course, directly we can give remove. Why? Because if I want to remove, first of all, I need to stop it. Fine now. Sir, I don't want to remove the containers. I want just to stop them. So give the command docker compose stop. It is going to stop the containers. Only stopping, not removing. Have you seen that one? Next, sir, for example, the moment if I stop the containers, I want to start them. What I can give? Docker compose start. Service is starting or not, sir? Like that. I want to pause the containers. What I want to do? So just put pause. Containers will be running. It is on paused state. Which state? If you want me to show, just give the command docker ps. You will get. Which state? Again, I want to unpause. Docker compose. Unpaused or not, sir? Running status. Whatever you want to do, just give docker compose and put whatever you want. Clear now? Like that. So these commands I'm going to write here. If I want to stop the services, docker compose, stop. Is it to stop all services? Next, if I want to start them, docker compose, start. To start, guys, remember services and containers both are the same. Inside container only have service, right? That's it. If I want to pause them, docker compose. Again, I want to unpause. Docker compose. Unpause. Basically, instead of managing the containers individually, with the help of docker compose, I'm managing all of the containers with the help of file only. Correct or not? How many containers I have here? If I want to stop them individually, it is going to be a bit hectic for me. But instead of managing the containers individually, we can manage all of the containers with the help of a file. That is called as compose file. Which file? This point also I'm writing here. Use it to manage multiple containers or services. I'm writing services with help of a file. Clear now? That's it. Sir, like for example, I want to get the images which I use for only my compose services. Let's say we have 100 images. How many images? In that 100 images, I use only 20 images for my compose service. I want to get the images only I use it for my compose service. Then I can use docker compose images. Give the command docker compose images. Currently, how many images you got? But basically, total number of images you have is 5 images. Why you are not getting Ubuntu image? Ubuntu image is not used by the compose. Correct or not, sir? Again, you have 100 containers. You want to list the containers which is running by compose file only. What you can put? Docker compose ps. You are going to get only containers managed by the compose file only. You are going to get only compose containers managed by compose file. If I create 10 containers, the 10 containers is not going to be visible now. Why? Because I would like to get the containers managed by compose file only. Like that. Docker compose images. Docker compose images. To get all images managed by compose file. Or docker compose, anything is fine. Docker compose ps hyphen a also you can give. To get all the containers managed by. There is a command called docker compose logs. Docker compose logs means it is going to get what happened with the docker compose tool. So with the help of docker compose, first of all, we create these services. Movie service we create, recharge service we create, train service we create, and DTH also we create. Logs means what you have done with the help of docker compose, it is going to get it. Clear now? Docker compose logs. One of the best part of teaching Docker Compose, need not to write the comments. I can copy paste the comments and change only one single letter. Docker Compose logs to get all logs managed by compose file or compose anything. Now, so what we can do? And Docker Compose kill also you can do. Docker Compose, what is going to happen? Kill all the, and again Docker Compose, I can do start. Correct or not, sir? Like this. There is a difference between stop and kill. Can anyone tell me? Already we discussed. Kill is to stop will give some time. Kill won't give that time. Clear or not, sir? That's it. That is like if you simply want to remember good partner and bad partner. For example, if your partner is good, she will listen to you. She'll give some time for you. But if it is not like that, she will tell what she wants and she will throw something on you and she will directly like that. Okay. Just apart from kidding. Anyone experience like you guys are laughing. What about Jayant? Huh? Oh, fine. Fine. So Docker Compose up, down, fine. So what we can see even, let me check. And scale, like I'll tell you the scaling. Currently, how many containers we have? 4 containers. We can increase the scale as well. Scale means number of container strength. But again, you can do it on the concept called Docker Swarm. Basically, we use the scaling concept on Swarm, but I'll tell you how to scale it. Docker Compose scale. Which service I want to scale? DTH. It is going to tell like this Docker ps-a. Currently, how many new containers came, sir? DTH containers came of 10. It is the way how you can scale. Scaling means to increase the strength of containers. What is the meaning of scaling? But unfortunately, these containers will not come with the port number. Why? Because DTH port number is 83. We cannot give 83 port number for multiple containers, right? But even if you want to scale, you can do like this. But in Docker Swarm, we can do it. I'll tell on Docker Swarm. In Docker Swarm, you are going to maintain multiple containers with same port number. But Docker Compose is not going to support like this. But we are going to discuss there. Here, I just give a basic glimpse. Yeah, exactly. Like it is going to distribute the load actually. We can do it. I'll tell you. To create 10 containers of DTH. Clear now? And see whatever we can use. Build is also done. Config. Okay. Docker Compose RM. I want to remove movies. What I want to remove? What happened here? But if I give Docker Compose RM DTH, it is going to remove all the containers of DTH, but it must be on stopped mode. Which mode? Removed or not, sir? Docker Compose RM means if a service is not on running status, you want to remove all the containers. You can use Docker stop RM command. Which command? After kill, you can use. Let this command Docker stop RM to remove all services which on stopped state. Clear now? Like that. For example, if you want to remove a single service out of multiple services, that we can do target actually. Currently, how many services you have, sir? 4. I'll show you. Wait. Let me give Docker Compose. These are all the possible commands of Docker we can give. So here if you can see, so kill is to kill the containers, logs, pass, port, and we have seen the PSS, and like port also, like I need to tell, I'll tell, wait. Docker hyphen compose PS. You can get the services if you give ports. Sorry, ports. Port only. Okay, so port we need to give actually like this. So port here we need to give service. Which service we want to get? I want to get the port number of movies. Movies port. Correct only, right? Docker port service private port. No. Docker compose hyphen help. There is a command to get the, basically like without ports also we can see. Docker compose hyphen h. So there's a direct command to get the ports without having all of this. Correct only. Port is the command. Print the public port for a port binding. The command usage is wrong. Docker compose port. Usage. Print the public port for the port binding. Okay. Service I have given. Docker compose port. Movies. Okay, fine. Like we can get like this. Docker. No, not like that. Basically, there is separate syntax. Docker compose PS. If we give like this directly, we can get the port numbers. But specifically, there is one more command to see the ports. But like, okay, fine. And if you want to see the command docker compose top, what is going to do, you know, it is going to list all the process running inside the containers. If you see, it is the container number one called DTH. Which one? In this DTH, are you seeing the process running or not, sir? Movies, seeing the process. Recharge, even you are seeing the command. What we can use is top command. Top command is to show whatever the process running inside the container, we can use the top command. Docker top, I want to see the train. Are you seeing the process running inside the train service? No. Top command is to list out all the services. I mean, like all the process running inside the container. Docker compose top to get all the process managed by compose file. I mean, like managed by the containers in compose file. Managed by containers on compose file. Clear, sir? No? So this is the process of Docker compose. Basically, what is the extension is Docker compose file. Correct or not, sir? But if I change the name to Docker compose file, it is not going to work. If you want me to show, move Docker compose.yml to raham dot. So I want to stop the containers. Docker hyphen compose down or stop. Command is not going to work. Can you tell? Basically, it can identify only compose docker compose.yml, or it can identify docker compose.yml. Our name should be compose.yml, our name should be compose. So when you change the default, when you change the default, what is going to happen? You know, it is going to support only this kind of file names actually. So what I'm going to do now is move docker compose.yml to raham.yml. This command I'm going to use. So even if you execute any command, docker compose top or docker compose down or like anything, the command is not going to execute. Why? Because these are the supporting commands. In that case, what we can do is we need to write the command like this. Docker compose stop -f. What is your name of the file? It will work now. Stopping or not, sir? Whenever you change the Docker compose file by default, we need to give -f. -f is going to give forceful not name of the file. Docker compose commands you are executing from the file. Which file? That is the meaning of it. Clear now? It is the way how we can change the default file. In real time, generally we won't change, but if we wish to change, it is like this. Clear now? And one more thing is, sir, basically we are using YAML syntax, right? But Docker compose you can also practice with the help of JSON format. Which format? But in real time, we never ever practice that one. Why? Because JSON is difficult to write when compared to YAML. If you want me to show, I won't show it practically, but in already your Docker presentation, I gave everything there. Let me show like how to write the compose file in the JSON format now. If you go and check Docker, where it is. Compose file are you seeing on JSON format here? Where it is? I think it is not even here. Let me show. This document already you have, don't worry about it. We go and see now here. Here you can see like this. Are you seeing the JSON format now? Generally we write on YAML format, but here you can write on. It is the way how you can write. But sir, in real time we never ever write. But if you wish to want, you can write like this. Can you practice this? Why? Too difficult to write. We cannot write it. If we want to take the image, we can take the image. If anyone need to practice, okay, but I won't prefer to practice. But it is the way you can do. Clear now? So this is about the Docker compose. Now, have you got the understanding of compose file? First of all, what is compose file? To run multiple containers. Basically, instead of run, tell manage. Manage means running, stopping, deleting, pausing, everything will come. To manage multiple containers, we are going to use the Docker compose file. In Docker compose file, what we are going to write? Services, port numbers, files, images, everything we are going to write or not, sir? What is the extension? YML or .yaml. So YML works on key value pair, already you know. With the help of single Docker compose file, can we able to manage multiple containers or not, sir? Then it is better than using manual way or not. But note point is Docker compose will work on single host. Docker compose will work on what happened, you know, if I go and give the Docker compose -f down. What happened here? Every container is going to delete it now. Once container is created, you cannot able to retrieve it. Again, you to run the file or not, sir? Every operation here, what I am doing is on main server only, host server. Sir, for example, if this single server got deleted, let's say, unfortunately, it might happen. If this single server got deleted, what is going to happen? Are you able to access the application now? See here. Oh, I need to give the history command, right? Now it won't work. It got deleted now. You need to tell me, right? Okay, fine. But I hope the notes is very clear for you instead of using history. But if you wish to use the history, right? Previous your batch 0208, I have one folder repository. Go and use the history there. Why? Because same comments will be over there as well. In fact, you got some other comments as well, which I haven't told them. If you go and see, click on refresh. Are you going to get the services now? Why you are not able to get? Because Docker Compose will work on single host. Single host got damaged. Entire application will go in vain. For that purpose, we are going to use Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm is nothing but managing multiple containers on multiple hosts. What is the limitation here? It will work on only single host. But if I have Docker Swarm, I can create multiple servers. Even if one server is gone, I have second server or not, sir? That is a topic which you are going to see on tomorrow's class. Okay. So this is enough for today. Now in today's session, any doubts or any queries, first of all? Before going for doubts and queries, how the class? You got the clarity? If you listen to the video and if you practice one more time, you will get complete clarity. Now online, any doubts or any queries from your end? Can you please confirm your chat? $17.8, huh? Is it? Who will decide the port number in real time? Only we, Kiran. We are going to decide. Sir, what is the difference between Jenkins build and Docker build? Docker build is to manage Docker dependencies only. Okay. But Jenkins, you can manage all the dependencies. There is a lot of difference. Like you are going to do the project, Jenkins and Docker combination. GitHub, Jenkins, Docker, and Docker Swarm. So these 5 tools we are going to combine and you are going to do a project. I'll tell them. So Bashir, you will get a clarity there. Kiran, who will decide the port number? I said, right? We are going to decide the port number. So even developer can tell, I need this service on this port number only. So then any queries or any doubts still? Okay, then are we good for today? Okay, then. So let's meet on your tomorrow session. But before coming to tomorrow's class, please practice. Otherwise, you are not going to get the clarity.